Good evening. Welcome to another episode of Cinnamon Chat with Amita. How are you today? So this is episode number 66. I've been doing this for last 66 weeks with you, with or without you, because some of you may come on certain weeks and may not be able to come on certain other weeks. But I've been doing this for more than 1 year. So a good welcome to everyone who is joining on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and on YouTube. Thank you very much for joining us. And this show is about an expert, someone's life journey, professional achievements, life achievements. At the beginning, I used to do this all by myself for 1 or 2 weeks. Then I realized, for how long can I speak all by myself? It's time that I bring someone to the discussion. And that's how Cinnamon Chat with Amita was born. And then I have been doing this for 65 weeks by bringing 65 different experts, individuals, guests here. Of course, we also had certain weeks, few experts coming and talking about a subject. So, talking about me, my name is Amita Gamage. I am a executive coach. I love coaching CEOs. I have local and foreign clients where I do coach them, senior professionals, business owners, and these are long term commitments. Other than that, I'm also working as a personal branding strategist. I help, again, C level executives and business owners improve their personal brand to take their personal brand to the next level. Apart from that, I work with B2B organizations uh, and I help those organizations to go to the next level. Okay, I'm getting a message from Fasli Muhammad saying no video. Anyone else who could confirm whether you can see a video? Because I'm also keeping a mobile phone here. On my mobile phone, I can see myself. So, firstly, just check, double check your network. Thank you very much. These kind of feedback is important. Uh, Unlike a radio broadcast or a TV broadcast, it's very easy to get a feedback immediately. So, firstly, thank you very much. But I would ask you to check again. How I go about is I always keep my mobile so that I can see myself on the other side. Yeah, okay. Salinda says from Polonnaruwa that he can see me. Salinda, you are on Facebook and Fasli is on LinkedIn. Dinuka from Africa says he can see, but then Dinuka, you are also on Facebook. I want feedback from anyone else from LinkedIn. this is great. See, I'm getting feedback from Polonnaruwa to Africa. Okay, Ahmad Munir, we get the video. It's fine. Again, Munir, you're on Facebook. Can somebody confirm me from LinkedIn side? That would be great. Sometimes there could be technical glitches on these platforms. Anyway, so talking about today's episode, I suddenly saw some great work of an individual uh, on online. Okay, we have Madhushan Fonseca. Yes, can see. Thanks, no issue. So Madhushan, coming from LinkedIn, he can see the stream. So firstly, just maybe refresh and see. It should work. Thank you, everybody. I mean, I really appreciate the feedback that you give me. So I saw someone has done a great work online with regard to one of our traditional craft. Then I dug a little bit deeper, and then I realized that this individual is doing a great job. Then I got connected with her. This is what I do whenever I see something great, someone doing a great job. I always get connected to them, and I see the value of me bringing them to this platform. So okay, so we have Malit, one of my former guests, saying it is okay. Then we have Gayan, who says LinkedIn is working fine. Tamit is saying LinkedIn is working fine. Thank you so much. So After talking to this individual, I realized how much he is doing to protect a specific industry from vanishing from this earth. So I thought maybe I should bring her here and talk about what she does. So let me welcome Vajira Peiris to the show. Good evening, Vajira.
Hello, good evening, Amita. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Yes, thank you very much for coming to the show. So, I always do this. I dig into the past of the person who is coming here before we actually expose you entirely. Yeah. So, I would like to ask about your school uh, era, your education, a little bit of your education, family, if possible.
Yes, that's absolutely fine. So, going back to childhood, I would say the school and primary. I could say I had the best childhood I
Okay.
can actually ask for or imagine because I lived in a area called Horetudu. That's in it's a suburb like Morotua. Still not a village, but it's more like a village. It's surrounded by the river on one side, and there's a temple, huge temple, with lots of paintings inside. Where my childhood was mostly spent because that was my next door, and we would always fly kites there because it's a huge land.
Okay.
So I that's why I say I had the best childhood, and my parents were strict on one way, but on the other way they gave us so much freedom to be a child. And like I would leave home in the morning and just come back to eat. I would just play whole day when I'm not going to school. And I don't remember doing homework, to be honest. I don't know whether that will give a bad influence to anyone listening, but I don't remember my parents staying behind me, pushing me to do any homework. But I remember going back to school and getting
Golden.
punished by the teachers for not doing homework. My dad was a principal in the same school I studied, vice principal.
So
I
you took the
he
advantage.
Well, no. He would basically pass me to the teachers and say, "Punish her if you want," and that was the worst thing because they would punish me first. I'm the influence, the bad influence in the class. So, but anyway, but my teachers really appreciated my craft work. Um, the first week I remember cutting out my textbook because my favorite thing was scissor. I
Okay.
had no idea, so I asked my best friend, shall we, there are so many beautiful pictures, shall we cut them out? And then we both cut few pages and didn't realize what we lost. And but my teachers actually didn't, they were not very strict. They were like, look, you don't cut these. So that's why I say it was some, there was some harsh experience, but it was really good. So my primary school was a mixed school, and I didn't have so much, how could I say, stress about the exams. My dad used to teach for grade 5 scholarship exam, and he had the best scores in the area, but I failed my exam. But I was really surprised when he didn't shout at me. I
Yeah.
was like, "Are you not angry with me?" Because I had no idea about the exam. It was this important for, like, to go to another school. All he said was, "You just have to go to the another school nearby. You can't go to a school in Colombo." That's all he said, and I don't think I understood what it mean. So it was all playful, my childhood. And in terms of my education, I wasn't a great, um, like I wasn't great on my studies when I was until I was in grade 8. And I remember just once my dad saying, "You're going you're going to end up really bad in your future if you don't study well." And I started to think I was 32nd in the class. And for the next exam, I thought, okay, I'm going to work just a little harder because my parents are a little bit unhappy about me, and I feel like a disappointment in the family because we were 5 kids in the family, and my brothers and sisters were very good at their studies,
Okay.
and I wasn't. I was little stubborn.
Were you the
Uh,
youngest?
I'm
Like,
the
are
one
you the
before
youngest? Yeah, okay.
one before the youngest, but even my younger sister was really smart and very good at. They would remember everything in the textbooks, but I I had trouble. I had trouble sitting in one place, and
Memorizing things.
yeah, because I think now I realize since I was a kid, I'm a more visual person rather than the text.
Yes. And
So
I can
that's why
see that you would have been a more right brain dominant person.
I
Yeah, you
am.
are.
I am.
Yes. Yeah. I can imagine
I,
I can imagine what your husband is experiencing.
being a left brain. Yes, so true. There's always arguments about why don't you understand this color and or whatever, because I would go so much into textures, colors, and aesthetics
Yes.
in my even in my personal life rather than the mathematics. So but somehow I had to come back to it, the mathematics. So uh,
So
yeah.
this also
So
tells a story to parents who are watching, right? Just because your child is not studious, if the child is good in something else, in art or music or something, you could actually help him or her shine on that side.
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely, because my parents never beat me down for that, because my dad was a mathematics teacher, but I was the worst in the class for mathematics, and it would have been a shame for him, right? To do for her daughter to do so bad at school, but he always said to me, "You are very good at art, so do it." Even when I decided to do science in my A levels, he said, "No, I think you are taking the wrong decision. You should do art because you are good
Wow.
at it." And I see that because like everyone was doing maths and science, my my elder brother, my elder sister, my neighbors, my whole family was,
It's a
everyone was
mathematics
doing,
family.
yeah, it is doing science and maths so good at it. And I thought, okay, I think I'm just going to follow them. But then my parents said, no, you are completely different to them, you should not do it because you will do, they didn't say I will not do it good, they said you will do better if you
If you
did
could
art.
do art.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you could do art. So I did A levels in arts, and my parents really supported me on that. And they, I didn't go to private tuitions for O levels apart from science and art. So they sent me to an art class, really good art class, because in the school I studied, Princess of Wales College, we didn't have a specific like art teacher to teach it for many years. So we were just one of other teachers volunteered to teach us art. Bless her, she was trying so hard. She didn't know much about the subject, but she tried so hard. And then I told my sister, who went to Anula Vidyalaya. Then she said, there's a really good art sir in Maharagama. I think we should send our sister there because she will do good. And then my mom took me there, and I was in grade 9. No one would believe this. I went to this art class from Moratuwa to Maharagama on my own in grade 9, taking the bus. Now I feel
That's, I
like a
mean,
really,
you would have been really enjoying the art class. And
yes,
then hats off
because
to your parents to help you to do what you
yeah,
like,
yeah.
isn't it?
Certainly, because from the first day, my teacher called them back and said, "Look, she's a born." I feel like I don't know whether I should say that, but he called and said she's a born talent for art, and you should not stop her coming here because of the distance. So I think for a student in grade nine, especially a girl, to go that far in a
Yeah.
bus uh, would have been a really big challenge. I lost many times. I took the wrong bus. I went in the wrong way. But I have to say the people were really nice.
Yes.
And
Comparatively.
so, yes. So they were
Yeah.
really nice. They would send me to the right location. And then after a few days, I was okay. I knew the route. I went to the class and I come back home at 8:30 at night. So that was my
Childhood.
yeah,
Childhood and
childhood
yeah, amazing. I
education.
mean, I know what I should be doing now. Like, these kind of insights, like,
Yeah.
uh, I mean, let's say I have two kids. I don't know what will happen to them, but when I listen to you, people like you who come and talk about their childhood, I know exactly what I should be doing, and I'm happy about some of the things that I do. I mean, between me and my wife says study well. I always tell them, okay, study average, but
Yeah.
sharpen your skills. But
Yeah.
it's a balanced world. I mean, if both of us will say don't study, then there will be a problem. Brilliant.
That
So
is true.
let's get into your uh, then then you went to university and then you
Yes.
started working. You want to talk about that a little
Uh
bit?
Actually, we didn't the word entrepreneur started to get familiar about 8 years ago to me. But I think I was an entrepreneur since I was in school, maybe probably when I was 15,
Okay.
because we were five in the family. My family really struggled uh, with the money we had to find for education,
Yeah.
because my father is a giver, my mom is a giver. So they would just, my dad did a lot of tuitions, but he would do a lot of free classes. And
Of course.
um, so because he believed in education so much, and for the privilege, like for the poor kids lived around my area. So even he did a lot of tuition classes, he didn't earn a lot of money. And a government teacher to maintain a family with five kids, that's a big challenge.
Big task.
So, and my mom was an entrepreneur anyway. She was a batik designer. She had a business, but then she gave it up when she had us. So when I was 15, my elder sister, she has finished her education, and she was doing jobs in several places, and she was trying to find extra money, and she would make the calico bags, table runners, serviettes, and she would hand paint it. She's so good at it. And I helped her to paint them, to sell them. I was the marketing person. I would take it around my area and ask people whether they want to buy. I was so proud to tell that my
Wow.
sister did this. So it wasn't like quite a lot. It would have been few bags or few tablecloths or whatever. And then when I went to uni, my dad was retired. So we kind of had to find extra money. So I because I was good at painting, I sold my paintings. And it's not only money. Sometimes I would have exchanged my service to get some materials from them. So I wasn't actually, I don't remember a time not doing anything. When I have time, I would do a class, tuition, art, teach art to kids, small kids, and find my pocket money.
Pocket money.
And I would give extra to my mom as well. That was like, feeling so proud to
Being a university
earn.
student, giving
Yeah.
money to home is a great thing.
Yeah. Well, in a way, I would have taken some from her more than I gave, but sometimes I like doing that because you felt like a grown up. when you do that.
I'm sure
So
they would have been very proud. Imagine
yeah.
your mom and dad talking when you are not around proudly.
Yeah, I'm sure. So that's when I did my A levels in art, knowing I really want to enter Morato University. That was my because my parents, my brother did architecture, so I was doing my A levels when he was doing that. So I had a big influence from him, seeing the little models he would make, and the typography. He probably have used us, like, he would give us, draw this, draw that, you need to do this and that. So we made all his models and did some paintings for him, all that, and it had big influence on me. And I decided I was actually going to do architecture. And then while when he was doing it, I thought we don't need two architects in the same family. So I decided because we would always, even now, always argue about certain concepts and aesthetics. So I decide, I when we every time we have a fight or something, I tell him I'm not going to do what you do. So I thought,
Now I'm
I mean,
I'm wondering I'm wondering what your kids are going through now.
oh my
All this
God.
experience is helping them to grow, isn't it?
Yes, yes. I always look back what I did, and then even if you can see this room, like it's full of drawings, and I can't tell them
Wow.
not to draw
Draw.
because I I did the
You know
same
what
thing when
you
I was
did.
a
You
kid.
know what you
Yeah.
did.
So my mom always say you can't say no to your kids because you were pretty much same when you were
A kid.
in that age. So when I was a kid, so that's my education basically. I did A levels knowing exactly I want to be a designer. And
Yeah.
but to be honest, I didn't know what the job is going to be. All I saw was when I was doing my A level was my brother being an architect. And I also saw some influence from my art class. Those students did art and became designers, but we had no idea what they learn at the university. But I knew it is going to be textile. I love fashion and I love textile, and I love textures, colors. This is all what I want to do. So when I did A levels, I thought I'm gonna be a designer. So I applied for Morato University. Even my set score was much more higher than what is needed. Like what's I think for the Morato University it was 0.9 to do fashion design during that time, and I had
Hmm.
1.5, which
Yeah.
was enough to go to Calania or Colombo
Anywhere
University
else.
to
Yeah.
study anywhere else to study. But
You
I
knew
didn't want to.
exactly what you wanted
Yeah, I
at
didn't
that time.
really care about my set score, like because I had the extra score, I should go to a much better university. I i didn't even realize that uh, there were other subjects. It was like, this is what I want to do, I'm going to go there. So
Oh, great.
so
See,
that's,
so you knew what you wanted. You may not,
yes,
you wouldn't have known exactly what you wanted, but then at least you knew the path. You
yeah,
loved fashion and all that. So sometimes, our kids are more luckier, I would say. I
yeah,
posted
of
a
course.
speech made by my elder son in the morning, and then somebody in Malaysia whom I know said, "Hey, Amita, I saw your elder son's video. At 15, he's doing this. We would like to offer this particular course for him." I was like,
Wow.
it hit the moon. He's just starting A levels. And then uh, Ministry of Education related organization and a foreign organization called me today with regard to some of my work, my younger son's work on LinkedIn. So today I was telling my wife, like, I don't know, I'm getting so many calls with regard to my two kids, right? Because today we are there to show the path, But during my time and your time, we had to find our own path. Maybe few would have been able to get someone's
Yes,
help. Even our parents, like they did their best to teach us what they know. Beyond that,
yes,
yeah. So great. So as far as I know, you are also an academic. You want to talk
yes,
a
I
little
am.
bit about your academic career before we get
Yes,
into the real
the
subject of can
yes.
innovation help heritage crafts to stay relevant. I would like to finish about your story, especially
Yeah,
with your academic career now.
I think all the things you ask is related to the craft what we are going to talk
Eventually,
about,
yes,
because
yes.
yeah, it's all connected. Although I thought it's not, it might like eventually it will, because when you match the stories and look back, it's all connected.
It's all
So in
connected.
my academic career, so I did my undergraduate at Morato University in fashion design and product development. But when I applied to the course, it was textile design. Um, Suddenly, our course leader came and said, "Look, your course is going to be fashion design and product development. There were some changes." We were like, "Okay,
So what?
whatever." Whatever, we don't understand, we are studying and it's all fine. um, but at the beginning, I have to say the first couple of months, because it was all came as a shock what like academic life is like when I was an undergraduate. I couldn't take it uh, for a while, and I decided to leave. And but I couldn't, because my parents were so happy about me going to university and all that, and then I was struggling a little bit. Then I talked to one of my tutors who was a foreigner, and I was so bad at English, but I tried explaining him why I want to leave. And he said to me, "Listen, Vajira, you have to do things. Sometimes you have to do things you don't like in your life, but still try to enjoy the good parts in the this university life." And I decided, okay, I'm just gonna stay and see, because I don't have to make quick judgments about the university life. It wasn't about any, because we didn't have any freshers, rago, whatever, nothing. We were all um, doing
Equal
really
and
well at the university. It was at Morato University. It was so good. We were so protected and so welcome. So that was the beginning of my academy. It all, I have to say, it all was a shock at the beginning, because I think one reason I was so bad at writing, and the other reason was my English was so bad. We had this joke in the class that whenever the foreign lecturers came in, so we listen like we understand everything, and then they leave. And then I asked my
did
friend,
you understand?
yeah, I was like, "Did you understand what he said?" And he was like, "No."
No.
I only understood when he said hi, good morning, and when he left, he said bye. That's all
Bye.
I understood. And I thought, okay, thank God I'm not the only person in the class who didn't understand anything. But it was all visual, so we were okay, a little bit trying understanding. So that was the shock I had. But then after a while, eventually, when we were studying, the tutors were so good, so supportive, and friends, they are the best part of your life. And
True.
all the fun and everything, and those who stay with you and stay together, support each other, do your assignments for yourself and put your name and submit it.
Tell me
uh,
about it.
yeah, so that was, but then I started to enjoy it. I think when I started learning the textile, the weaving, the printing, knitting, and the pattern making, it was so technical rather than aesthetics. So I thought it was very challenging. But then, um, just a second.
your kids are there, you can mute the mic and talk to
Yeah,
them. That's perfectly all right.
that's
This is
okay.
our show. That's the beauty of it. Just mute the mic and speak. So, uh, for the benefit of the audience, we have Vajira Peiris. She is the owner of Peiris Leather Studio and also a beautiful concept. Uh, she's the co-founder of Concept Garage. So what we are trying to figure out is she's helping one of the old what can I say, one of the old uh, uh, one of the old craft going away from our land, and she's trying to use innovative techniques to bring that craft back into life. And then it's not easy, and there are some people
Sorry
who
about
are
that.
no problem. There are some people who are doing it with her. So we were talking about her beginning, and then she just told us uh, how she started learning about these things at the university. So you were talking about the weaving and the techniques and
Yeah.
the yeah.
So that was the I think I was a more practical person rather than the theory. I found when we started doing more practicals, I started to enjoy it. So at the end of the undergraduate, we were offered two scholarships to study further at London College of Fashion. So I wasn't sure about going for a postgraduate because I had no idea. But then one of my friends actually kicked me to a room where the interview was happening. I said, just go and talk to them and see what will happen. So I had no portfolio, nothing. I just went in and talked to them. And he asked me why I want to further study. I said, I feel like I had enough with textile. I want to do leather or something else. And luckily he asked about what are the trends in the fashion industry, and the day before that night my dad was showing me on news one of new designers collection was going there on the English news telecast. So I said suddenly this thing going really interests me, and he said wow, even I didn't know about it because it was telecasted the day before. So I think he found
The
it really
interesting and
interesting, and after a lot of competition among 10 students, myself and one of my best friends, Dilusha, we got two scholarships. Later on I heard they couldn't decide between us, so there was only one scholarship,
okay,
but they decided to give it to both of us because we were so parallelly studying two different areas.
okay,
So I went to study at London College of Fashion after that to do my postgraduate. That was fashion artifact.
okay,
So the best the best course I did for that short period of time. It was a year and a half long masters doing leather craft, and the it was a very small course. It's called Venus College, and when I first went there, I thought I'm not so sure about doing something so niche. It's not well known. Every time I told somebody I'm studying artifact at London College of Fashion, they're like, what's artifact, why would you do a postgraduate in leather craft? And I'm like, it's something new to me. I'm really enjoying it. So going back to my undergraduate, at the end of the graduation we had a fashion show. And when was the scholarship offered, the university decided to offer me an academic role at the university, because my masters became very useful to the student. They thought it would come
help them.
useful because I remember having some discussions to start a new course in this area. So they asked me whether I'd like to take leadership on that, and I said that's like definitely I
An
am
opportunity,
fully.
yes.
Yeah, it was like the best things you could ever hear from your senior academics, right? So I said, certainly. I didn't even check my salary. I said yes to the job and realized it was 30,500. So, but I didn't really mind because I really enjoyed that job.
Yes.
I first joined as an assistant, and then went into a lecturer, become a lecturer, junior lecturer, and then I went to study my masters after a couple of months teaching at university. Then I came back and taught there again for about an year or so.
And
Then
and by now I know you are teaching in many places wherever it
yes,
is required. Yeah.
yes, certainly.
Okay. So I would like to know now about uh, the Peiris Leather Studio.
Mhm.
You want to talk about it, like enlighten us about it.
Yes, so the Peiris Leather Studio started. I started it in 2000. Officially started in 2014 in London. So I did my masters and then I started teaching. So after like 4 5 years teaching, I was teaching at Nottingham Trent University, and I taught their textiles, fashion, and leather accessories. So I felt like there's something missing. I'm being academic, not making anything. I missed it. So
Yeah,
I
but then you have an entrepreneur, you have a craftsman
yes.
inside you.
Yeah, that was like calling me
Calling,
all the
yeah.
time. So I started making things on my own during holiday time because we had access to university. And my friend who was Lee, so supportive, his name is Lee, and he said, "Yeah, we let's make something." And he would share patterns with me and allow me to work in his workshop. So because I teach in both courses, and then I came back to Sri Lanka for a vacation in 2012, and I got these Dumbara crafters to make a collection, so I can take it to London. And my idea was to actually create a craft business. To be honest, business wasn't in my blood, and I didn't know how to do it. I created the collection, I put it online, and I didn't know what to do, how to market it. Like, I had no idea. So it kind of stopped there. And then I started making leather accessories for my friends, for my husband, because when he come back home, I think everyone would agree. They put keys here and the USB somewhere, and in the morning it's like, "Where's my keys? Where's my card? Where's my purse?" So I made a small trinket tray for him in made out of leather, and I said, "Okay, here's your tray. When you come back home, have a habit of putting your things here so you won't lose it." And then I made a small case for him. I made like things to organize our life basically
Yeah.
in the small house. And then somebody asked me to teach how to do it, and I said, okay. During vacation time, I will do a workshop, and that's extra money for me. So I started running workshops
Shops.
on glove making.
Mm.
Then I realized there's so many, like few people in the whole country, United Kingdom, who makes gloves and who knows how to make or teach the craft. It was a very rare skill. So I started the Peiris Leather Studio was first to teach a skill. I ran workshops, and I also made small accessories as gifts for my friends and family. Then, when I had my baby, first one, Sahas, I kind of got bored a little bit. I was an academic or anything. I was a mom, and I felt like I should. I think the hormones actually made me to start the business. To be honest, so I was like, I just have to do something new. And then I started registering my business, and I started Peiris Leather Studio then. And then I came into Sri Lanka, came back to Sri Lanka in 2019, more of a personal reason to see my dad and stay with him. But then he passed away. Sadly, after that, I didn't feel like going back, and then I thought I'm gonna start the business I always wanted to. So with couple of girls around my area who were so keen on learning a new craft, I built Peiris Leather Studio, who some of them still stay with me even after a couple of years, and so
So,
much
so
ups
the
and downs.
products are still available to for people to buy.
Yes, then it went online. I registered the business in here as uh, proprietor business,
So
and
you
like
wanna you wanna give the website?
yes, so it's Peiris. It's we rebranded as Peiris. I can think I can comment here, right?
You can tell. I can type. You can
Yes,
also
it's
comment. Peiris
Peiris Leather Studio, Peiris,
Leather Studio.
Peiris
What
Leather Studio. So
is it? A
so
dot
it's
com or a
the .com still
or a
is
dot lk
actually.
or like
Oh yeah, it's a .com, but the website we are at the moment there's some construction going on uploading
so
new pictures and
Facebook?
the new collection. There's Facebook and Instagram still
Okay.
working.
Okay, so it's there, Peiris
So
Leather
it's
Studio,
there.
it's on the screen. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
okay,
So
got it.
basically for the Sri Lanka I saw a big gap here. There's not so many luxury leather crafters in Sri Lanka. We still have this traditional embossing and traditional bag we have seen since we were kids. I'm not I'm not saying we can't have the traditional. I'm saying the world actually is moving very fast. You have to follow the trends as well. Still,
Bring
um,
innovations into
yes,
it.
bring innovations into it.
I
So
mean,
I
today's topic is about,
is
bringing
about it.
innovation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what we do is all handcrafted. We still use all the traditional tools and machinery, and we make things all by hand using genuine leather. Whenever we can, vegetan the traditional, the good leather, um, and we make things by hand. But we follow the designs to be more trendy, innovative, and user friendly, and bring the still keep the craft value within it rather
So,
than making it look mass produced.
yeah, so you on one side you are actually helping the craft to be alive, and then you are
Yes.
also, helping the consumers to find those right type of product with quality. But then what is concept garage then? Now, this is about Peiris
uh,
Leather Studio. Now, let's get
yeah.
into the concept garage, like where we are again talking about can innovation help heritage craft to stay relevant? So, what is concept
so
garage?
so the concept garage is where we make weaving machines. Where it started is from my grandfather's technical drawing. So I had these. My grandfather was a draftsman at small industries, and he became a supervisor later on. So he had all these. I remember when I was a kid, he had this drawing board and a tea roller, and I remember him drawing there, sitting drawing there, and so when I grew up, my mom showed me all those technical drawings he did by hand, and I kept them, and I framed them and put it in my wall. And then I was teaching weaving at university. Then I realized whenever I came back to Sri Lanka for research work, that I still see the same machine my grandfather had in his technical drawings, and they are actually still using the same craft. Tying up sometimes instead of a proper iron weight, they would just tie a cement block to keep it
Okay.
heavy,
Yeah, okay.
and rather than repairing it, they would just tie it up to something and just manage it very very in a very poor way.
Poor way. Yeah.
And when I was teaching at university in UK, I saw the technology, how far technology has gone. And whenever I can come back, I really feel about the crafters and how hard they work and the value of the craft. And I always thought this needs to move further, but still we have to preserve it. We can't bring power machines and replace those workers. That's not how we go forward,
Yep.
because it's in their heart. When they sit and weave on the machine, they do it by their heart, like, it's so close to them, they know what they're doing. So I actually used one of my grandfather's drawing and the machines we saw at university and in United Kingdom for sale, and then I upgraded one and I drew one and then I put it on Illustrator, which I always do. Illustrator is my favorite tool. And
Okay.
then I drew it out and I took it to my technician at the university and I said, can you cut this wood out? I'm making a weaving machine. And he was like, are you crazy? And I said, no, let's just give it a try, see how it works. And then I actually made one machine out of MDF in 2012 and it worked. So, and then I had the plan and everything. So when I came back, I felt like not only leather, I have to do something for weavers in Sri Lanka. So I made a small table loom, um, using wood, proper wood, not MDF this time.
Wow.
Spoken to one of my friends who's an engineer and another friend from the university. I said, I have this idea. I want to help these people. What can we do? We don't have money. So, so we got together and we exchanged the knowledge and support, and then found a little bit of money, and then we made this loom. It came into a reality finally.
So
And
it is a modernized version of the hand operated machine.
so basically, it is a modernized version. We use those hand operated small machine at the university to learn, because it can only make 18 inches wide fabric, which is pretty much enough for, actually, if you are innovative, creative, pretty much enough to make scarves and bags and cushions. As long as you know the theory behind it, you can be creative and innovative and make anything out of it. Even like, it's not hard to make a tablecloth out of it. It's not hard to make a curtain if you know exactly. Like, you can make narrow fabrics and connect them. But not going that far. I actually, my target customers was domestic business or women who are struggling to work, to go to a regular job while looking after kids, or somebody who's stuck in house, for example, say they don't have enough transport or, like, enough facilities to go out, but they want to stay home and, in the area, in the village, and do some work to find a little bit of money. Or students who are graduating, who wants to become a designer and still make, their own woven samples. Because I saw, as a student, if I had to do some weaving, I had to go through all these procedures to find a weaving center, then or somewhere a small business, and then there's so much work to get a sample done by a weaver, because they already set up their machines to do their work. So to do
True.
something else, it's so much work, it's a pain. So especially for students, to produce swatches, before they weave the final, huge fabrics, they can make a small swatch, and then get an idea what they actually want to do. So this is mainly used for crafters, and this machine in UK used by entrepreneurs, startups, to create small fabrics
Oh,
like
okay.
scarves or bags and stuff. So it is a modernized version, but it is hand operated. We are on the process of taking it into semi-automated. I can't say I hate power loom, but I just love the idea of handmade, and how people can enjoy.
Yeah, also, I don't think someone who is already doing handloom, you can
Yes.
transform that person to go to power loom. What you are
No.
doing is, you are doing some, you modernize
Yeah.
the current machine, uh, reduce number of steps, maybe the difficult ones, make it easier, but it's not
Yes.
power loom, still it is hand loom.
Yes. So recently we had given 5 looms to Peradeniya Central College,
Peradeniya
which was
Central College, you say?
Central College.
Okay,
The teacher who's they are the teacher is Tarindiha Putran Tantri. She really wanted to teach her kids in NVQ, so A levels, uh, textile. She wanted to teach textile, so she found a donor and bought 5 machines from us, and so we are in the process of doing that consultancy right now, teaching
brilliant.
them how to weave. So at least out of that 20-30 kids, there will be, I don't know, maybe 3 or 5,
Five,
maybe even 1 or 2
yeah,
students will become entrepreneurs after their A levels, or at least have some kind of idea of becoming an entrepreneur.
yeah,
So we are making small steps to teach them, teach younger crowd to become entrepreneurs
yeah,
following heritage craft.
yeah. So we have a message from this is Arun Ramajayam. It's not working. He's talking about the website. Actually,
Ah,
Arun, the
yes,
website is under
yes.
construction, but he's
My
saying,
husband is doing it.
yeah, but
Sorry.
look at this. The
Yeah.
website, I would like to support you, ma'am. Just give the domain. I'll do it
Oh,
as a
that's yeah,
compliment
that's
to your
brilliant.
business. I'll send you my portfolio. I am the head of digital strategy in Qatar. I mean, this is
Oh,
the beauty of this platform, right? I mean,
that's so
he could,
nice
he
of you.
yeah, this is the beauty of this platform. My job is to make sure that, two parties get together and do the right thing.
Yes,
Thank you so much, RM. I mean,
I
what
will.
you
I
are,
will stay in
yeah,
touch with him.
yeah. So the most beautiful part of it is, even though he thinks that he's helping you, but he is actually helping the younger generation and the community who is involved in handloom. So it's one of the heritage crafts in Sri Lanka that are in decline at the moment. So Vajira is actually is what I would say is not doing an easy job. She's fighting probably single-handedly, or maybe there are few other people who are trying to do this. Also, Madhuranga has also usually, he comes and helps us. So he has just put the Facebook page of Peiris Designs. Is this
Thank
the
you.
correct
Yes, it is.
Facebook? Yeah, so
Yes, it
it's
is.
Peiris Designs. Okay, right. So Madhuranga, thank you very much for helping us. So
And for
yeah,
the concept garage, it is also a .com, and that's working. So
how does it go?
I will send it to you, Amita,
Yeah,
on chat. I can't
no,
see
I will,
the
yeah, I
yeah.
can see it. I mean, I will put it on the, uh, put it on for everybody to see. Let me see whether everybody can see it.
So there, everyone can see the range of products we produce, and we
This is it.
have created some accessories too
So it
to
goes as
support
conceptgarage.com.
sl.com.
Yeah. So this is an amazing job what you are doing. So I will also declare this. My son, who is 12 years old, who is also a young entrepreneur, we are actually planning to run a completely free of charge workshop to young children who are enthusiastic about handwork, I would say. I mean, they don't know whether they want to do weaving or not,
Yeah,
but parents will know whether they are good in handwork, basically, so we want to gather maybe 10, 15, or 20 kids and bring your machines. And then with your Vajira, you and anyone else, whoever wants to do it, we want to do that to help kids and parents identify their talent, and then maybe to build future entrepreneurs. That's what my son is doing, and it's going to be completely free of charge. I will let everybody know when we are going to do it. So Madhuranga, as usual, he also has put the Facebook page, Concept Garage.
thank you.
Thank you, Madhuranga. You are helping us
He's
a
so
lot.
supportive all the time. Yes.
Yeah. So
And
my
can
next
I
question.
just add? Yeah,
Add,
go on.
please,
Sorry.
please. Yeah, yeah.
No,
Go
I
ahead, go
was
ahead.
going to add to what you said about the workshop, because it's not only about craft. Um, when I said earlier that I had to come back to maths at the end,
Yes.
is that it's there when I was doing weaving, because although it was a craft, it was all about textile and fashion. I ended up doing a lot of calculations and mathematics
Yeah, I
for the
know.
for the weaving. You like there's a lot of
So
simple maths
eventually it
actually.
helped. So eventually it helped.
Eventually, yes, I have to thank my father for teaching me maths at the end. Although it came handy at the end. So it's not only like, or not only fashion, textile. There's maths involved in weaving. I think I went to a research once, conference once, done by a software engineer, and he said the first pixelated image in the world was a woven structure drawing, because it's done
Oh,
on a point paper. The structures we read by codes, by colored blocks, and you have to decode it by numbers to read the woven structures. There's no simple way to explain it to you now during this time, in a short time, but there's a lot of coding in there. So when weavers weave, they understand the patterns by numbers. They know, they say, lift up the 2 4 6 8, and then you know exactly what that means. So the codes mean something relevant to the machine. So there's so this
so it
research,
is in
I
certain way it is
yes,
coding.
it is coding. So the world first coding mechanism, and what we see as screens, the pixelated image, started from weaving. So I had no idea about this until one of researchers came up with this idea. That's so interesting to know, because it is, we call it decoding, but I never thought it's the first thing in the whole world, because I had no knowledge about coding and stuff, or pixels. But then through this research, I found it about pixels and the coding. Then I realized, wow, this is so starting to become interesting now, and I'm really, really happy I did this.
Sure. Amazing. So my next question, like, can you tell something about the handloom industry today, like numbers, or how big it is, or how small it is in Sri Lanka? Anything
Yes,
that you could
that's
share?
Yes, Samita. So basically, from my own research, I went to couple of areas in Sri Lanka. Not couple of, many areas. I went to Dumbara, Vaunia, Jaffna, and Galle,
Eastern side.
Matara, Eastern. So I've been to these areas and I've asked those people. So from what I gathered, at least in one uh, district, there's at least 100 of weavers. uh, this is minimum. So even in Katubedda, it is a, it's very close to Colombo. There are about 20 30 weavers, or at least 50 learning every year. um,
Oh, okay.
so in Piliandala, Kottava, Colombo area, we can find at least 200 weavers. At least they have one machine at home, or couple of machines, or a small factory. This is getting less and less. So from my research last year to now, there would have been like hundreds of these workshops being closed,
Oh,
sadly.
sadly.
uh, it is affected, sadly it is affected by COVID, the bomb attack in Easter, because the foreign
Tourism.
tourism had dropped a lot in Sri Lanka, where the handloom sector is actually lifted up by the tourism a lot, and exports. There's also a materials shortage, uh, very badly very badly affecting them right now, because the imports are actually restricted, and there's no dye, there's no threads. We actually don't have to go to nitty gritty detail about these things,
But
but
then
uh,
industry is challenged.
industry is yeah, they are actually struggling a lot. When you go and talk to them, they are not even like, they have been doing this craft. In Dumbara, there's few families doing this craft from King Rajasingha time.
Time.
So they are the family weavers. Their family produce weaving to the royal families. So from that generation to generation, they come, but they are still, their lives is not so great. They're struggling. They can't even afford the raw materials. So this shouldn't be like this. Basically, let's not go into that. So in terms of the industry, to answer your question directly, so there are so many. It's still not collected by anyone, like how many exactly are there. So from my research, I come across, at least during my training programs, because I do some training programs to these people via government services or private sector. There's cooperative societies, there's these textile government sector, there's private workshops. At least in smaller area, I get at least 50 people coming to train. So this is a small sector within the district. So from that calculation, I assume there must be minimum 100 weavers in each district. It could be even more, but I've heard there's 800 weavers in south area, and in Jaffna there's about 400. So these are just numbers I gather from the weaving
Yo,
centers,
yeah, yeah.
but it might not be accurate. I'm trying to find.
But
uh,
overall, it's not great. The numbers are not great. That much we can tell.
yes, it is dropping,
It's
down.
dropping.
it's
Yeah.
it's dropping
Yes.
down. It's not how as like how it used to be, because of the dye problem
Yeah.
and the raw
So
material
next
problem.
time when you have a workshop, send me the flyer. I will share it to my network. I mean, let's spread the work, the good news. So my next
Yes.
question is: don't you ever feel that you are fighting this losing battle and you are wasting your time?
Ooh, very good question. I get disappointed all the time. I have to say I give up almost every day, uh, but there's always the feedback from these workers, weavers, keep me up all the time. Every time I go and do a workshop, they come back and say, look, we never had a workshop like this in our whole life, and you open a whole new world to us. Because I try to explain to them that we are not the only owners of weaving. It's been all around the world. This is how everyone started weaving in every country. Although we heritage it so much, uh, we have to we have to have a competition with the world. There is a competition. You have to fight for it. And I always tell them how great they are, because even after so much experience as an academy, there are codes I can't break.
Yeah.
Like there's this weaver who showed me uh,
Specific
it's called a
design.
tapestry, a specific design. We call it a tapestry, kind of a woven structure. And I asked him, how did you do this? I still can't figure out how you made this on the machine. And he so easily, it's like, oh, it's not so hard. I was like, explain it to me again. I can't figure out how you did it. So they're so technically really high profile technicians, but design wise they are very very poor. So I tell them, you just have to learn a little bit of design, and with the knowledge you have, you can actually weave so many great designs. So they say that nobody actually motivates them, and they are really tired of undermining,
I
getting
know.
undermined by other people,
By
and
the
also
society.
bargaining, yes. And they're
Yes.
like, some people only get 60 rupees per meter for sitting on a machine and weaving. It's that low, but they still work. And the oldest weaver I met in Jaffna was 75 years old. That's 3 years younger than my mom,
Still
who's,
weaving and
yeah, so
still
like
weaving.
still weaving. And she's and there was another lady who was 65 riding a bicycle coming to weave workshop and weaving. So like this is a battle for them. And then every time I feel so disappointed or felt like down, or I feel like I'm losing the battle, I think about them. And I think I don't really have much of a problem compared to them. So like what they are facing is much more harder than what I'm
But yeah,
facing.
yeah. So
So
Vajira, like what I do is, I want to be a strength to people like you who
yes.
are empowering an entire community. Like I want more and more people to see what you are doing. So
Mm,
I'll do. I mean, I'm not a big shot, or I mean, I don't have a big network, but this, I mean, at least I have this show. At least 10 people will come and watch it. And then after this show, I'll make another 3 minutes video and then push it to the network and say, hey, look, come and watch this, and then see whether you could
yeah.
collaborate, work together, help each other. Yeah. So
Yes.
my next
To
question.
answer,
Yeah,
sorry, to answer your question very shortly, is what I believe is I can't be a superhero, but I can do at least a little impact on these people's life. So I will
Vajira,
continue to do that.
you are for me, you are a superhero. I
Oh,
mean, I
thanks.
don't know whether I would do what you are doing, seeing that you got to go and help all these people. At least you have decided, okay, let me change these designs and techniques in a way that, to make their lives better so that they could be more efficient or productive while not losing that hand or the handcraft part of it,
Yeah.
the soul of it, I would say. Yeah,
Yeah, I think anyone being abroad could understand what we have is, gold, because we have so many weavers and so knowledgeable, so talented. And you go to another country like UK, you can't find that many. Uh,
true.
so if you
Everything is,
walk
it's,
around
yeah, it's
from my home to
industrialized.
Kotubed, yeah, it's so industrialized here, and we have resources like manpower. That's the strength we have,
Yeah,
but
and
we are
not,
so lack.
but not for so long. If we allow it to go like this,
Yeah,
the
no,
entire
it's
industry
not
will be very.
sustainable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not so
So my
sustainable
my
right
next
now.
question is, what kind of support you think for to make what you do successful?
Yes, so there are so many areas I'm trying to. So this we started as a service, but then there's only so much you can do. There's bills to pay, you have to pay the interns. So I would like, we are looking into partnerships. So if anyone is interested, and also if you know anyone have any funds to donate a machine to somebody, or a school or an institute, for example,
Run a
there's this,
workshop somewhere,
yeah, run a
sponsor a
workshop.
workshop.
Yes, if you can sponsor a workshop, or even if you feel like there's this place who needs support, and let me know. I'm happy to support uh, as much as I can, or even give some consultancy, so that fund actually comes back as an investment to our business.
True.
um, so any government, if anyone's listening from government organization or textile ministry or wherever, and if
Hopefully,
you feel like,
hopefully.
hopefully, let's say, and yeah, let's spread the word that how useful this machine is. And if we have any school teachers or school kids, maybe the support you could give to me is have a little, research into this, spread your word, if you can share, and if somebody likes
Collaborate.
to work, collaborate. And also we are looking into interns, young, creatives, talented creatives who could come and work with us to support this, because right now there's two students working with me from NIBM, super, and also one of my cousins who's working for me, who's doing the website right now, and those two students from NIBM going with me everywhere, not thinking about a salary or anything, just doing a
Yeah,
social
yeah.
service right now. So they are they are volunteering. So if
So you
anyone
have one
wants
more
to,
now. You have someone else, who could contribute at least 0.001%. That's me and my 12-year-old
yes,
son.
you are. You are helping me a lot. I really appreciate it. We need network like this, to
Yep,
be honest, so we all can support each other and take it forward. So that's actually the support
that you
others
need.
can. Yes,
Yeah.
I need.
So we have come to the end of the program. Any message that you want to send out to the society, the listeners, viewers, and everybody?
Right. So I would say entrepreneurs. Uh, Being an entrepreneur is very hard, and but if you ever want to become an entrepreneur, I'd say try it and get the best support you can. Make sure you have your family and your friends around you, talk to them. And I also want to say, you can still be a full-time employee. You could be a student, you could be a school student, university student. I was too late to step into that, properly understanding what is startup, what is who's an
Entrepreneurship.
entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Yes, I had to take a course, I have to tell you, to understand the business side, because I was so into design, and never thought the English, the language, the marketing, the finance. I hate finance, terrible at it. Sorry to say that the whole reason is I can't balance the accounts. So
No worry, there are so many accountants out there who
yeah,
could help.
so delegate the work. If you're not good at it, don't do it, get someone
Delegate.
else to do it.
Yeah.
Delegating work is the best thing. So what I actually want to say, even like if you're a parent, the message I want to tell you, uh, love your kids, but don't be harsh on them. Let them be, you know let
Let
them
them
explore
enjoy
their life.
childhood. Yeah.
Yeah, and then help them a little bit to understand about uh, the startups and being an entrepreneur, because you never know, you could actually have to leave the job. You might have to leave the job one day. You never know. You'll have to leave, or you will get kicked out, or whatever, but you know how to be independent and build up
True.
something. So there's always a plan B. Learning about entrepreneurship is not so bad, because there's always a plan B for your life.
Yeah.
And especially for women, girls, one day, like if you decide to have kids, it's going to be really hard to manage work life. But I decided I want to be with my kids, staying out from my regular job, the lecturer. So I decided to start the business. So I'm home and I'm with them, and I'm my own boss. I can manage my time. Doesn't happen the way you think, but
No, I know. It's
still,
tough.
it's tough, but still it's a good way
Give
to
them an
spend a little bit
opportunity,
of.
give them a chance, you know,
Yes, and
and then
also,
make them ready for any eventuality.
yes, and also it's a big influence to them. an inspiration to them, because I saw how my mom was a batik designer, and now, and I never understood how she did it. Now I realize why she gave it up, and I wish she never gave it up. So
True.
now, like, if she didn't, I would have now I'm a factory owner, but I'm
Mm.
not. But so the message is, you know, help your kids to explore what they want to do, because they don't know what they're doing. I didn't know what, although I tell you now that I did this and that, so, so organized. By then, I had no idea. If my parents didn't help me, I don't know where I would be now.
True.
Um,
True.
or even my brothers and sisters, because I don't know whether I got time, but I got so undermined when I did art. Uh, Everyone around me was like, "Oh, you want to do art for A level? What you gonna
Yeah.
do? You're going to sell
True.
paintings. Artists are so poor. Why do you want to do that?" So I got so undermined. I got harassed. I got bullied. But my parents or my family never let me down.
That's important.
They were always there. They were like, "Oh, just bullshit, don't worry about it, you are doing great." And they supported me. Even now, if I say I need some help, they are here for me. So the family and the friends are the main strength for anyone.
Strengths.
Yeah, so be supportive to startups. That's my message. Help them.
Yeah. So thank you very much. I have been talking to Vajira Peiris. She's the owner of Peiris Leather Studios and also the co-founder of Concept Garage. And my son, who is 12 years old, is going to have a free workshop with her team for enthusiastic young children who are interested in art and craft and traditional uh, whatever the handwork, I would say, because that could create an entrepreneur, that could create an innovator in the future. So it is great to speak to you, Vajira. Thank you so very much for coming and sharing your experience and all that. You are inspiring an entire generation, and we really value and appreciate what you do single-handedly, you know swimming upstream to help an entire what can I say, industry who has gone unnoticed, I would say.
Yeah,
So
thank you
it's a
so
it's a
much.
great support, and let's work together in the future. I'll see whether I could put you in touch with whoever come across. Whenever you have any workshop or anything, let me know. I will share it. I have around 20,000 connections on LinkedIn, another 5 7,000 on my Facebook. I have another page called Sales Guru, where we help small entrepreneurs, very small entrepreneurs, by bringing them and talking to them in Sinhala. So we can put it to those groups about what you are planning to do. Let's create that web of support to everybody. So thank you very much.
Thank
And
you so much too. I mean,
yeah,
that's great. I really enjoyed this stream. So very nice to meet you
yeah,
and your network. Thank you
yes.
so much to you
So
and your
next week,
son as well.
yeah, of course. Yeah, we will meet soon. And then we will be meeting three other professionals next week. And it's going to be me and three professionals, and on a very specific topic. You will see the flyer soon, and come and enjoy, come and talk to each other. Let's build this great network, help an industry, help the country, help the nation, help the world. Thank you very much, and good night. Stay safe.
Thank you.